What's up, guys? This is Adrian from PDC coming at you with yet another video. Today we're looking at a championship series finals over in Japan. This is the mirror match, Sakazuki versus Sakazuki. So a lot of really cool things to cover, and let's dive right into it. So a little bit about some announcements. Today we just wrapped up our very first PDC Win-A-Box tournament, co-hosted by Peng Pirates Adrian and sponsored by Forge and Fire Gaming. So thank you guys so much for making such a successful event, and yeah, to many more. So if you guys like our One Piece content, like what we do, enjoy the vibes, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It really goes a long way, and I personally really appreciate it. And yeah, let's talk about this mirror matchup. So the right hand side went first, cycled a Kuzan, and over on the left hand side he played brand new, going second on curve. So a little bit about this matchup: it's heavily favored going second. The reason why it's heavily favored is because you get to play everything on curve. You're 2, 4, and then I think Dawn 6 is your weakest turn, but then in Dawn 8 and 10 you have Rebecca Lucci, and then Rebecca Lucci Mancherry or Houndblaze, and it's just incredibly strong. But over on the turn 1 side, there are things that you can do to play on your turn 2. Mainly, you could just kind of want to mulligan for a brand new or a 3-cost Hina. The blue one that allows you to draw an extra card if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. Unfortunately, the going first Sakazuki did low roll a little bit and doesn't have a turn 2 play. So you can see a 5k swing came out, and the going second Saka countered out with a Suru, which is pretty interesting, because usually in most cases Sakas take the first life for free just so that they can get a bigger hand size and more resources. You can see a 3-cost Hina gets played out. I think it's a bit of a wasteful move, but let's see how things go. So over in turn 2, it's a very simple turn. You're gonna swing, and then you're gonna play that 4-cost Borsellino on curve. Probably one of the strongest turns that you can play. Borsellino obviously can get bottom decked by Houndblaze, but Houndblaze is one of the most rare resources in your deck. As Sakazuki, you can't recycle it with Mancherry, you can't recycle it with Rebecca. You run 4 in your deck, but chances are you'll see 2, maybe 3 in a game. So the most limited resources, you really want to command that Houndblaze and force your opponent to answer with it. Right, so really good turn by the going second Sakazuki, and let's see how the going first Dawn 5 Sakazuki responds to it. So another reason why it's really difficult to respond to this Borsellino is because at 5 Dawn, you either have the choice between playing a 4-cost or not playing a 4-cost and responding to the Borsellino with a Houndblaze. So I think right here he chooses to use Great Eruption and bring Borsellino to 2, and then later playing that Houndblaze to bottom deck the Borsellino. And fortunately for his hand, he did smartly keep a 2-cost brand new, which allowed, I think that's a pretty efficient turn, and I do agree with that move. So gets to develop a 3k body, gets to search, and also gets to take away a really annoying blocker on board. So he's gonna put the 3k on Hina to make it 8k. I don't think it matters if he puts it on the leader or not, but it's just fun to talk about. So here we see a 8k swing from Hina. He takes it, and then we see another 5k swing. So now I see. So going second Sakazuki has the chance to counter with Rebecca or Brand-New, but those are 2 really good cards. I don't think he's ready yet to give up those cards yet, so he just takes both life instead. We do remember that he countered out the first swing, so he did have an extra buffer. So the Brand-New is played out and searches for another Houndblaze, which is probably one of the best things you want to see. Yeah, both players are well equipped for the upcoming turns. All right, so 6 Dawn coming up for the going second Sakazuki. This is the weakest turn that you can have, right? You can't really play multiple cards, so you're only going to develop one body at most this turn, and you know, swing for the fences. He does cycle out the Ice Age. I think Ice Age is actually a really underrated card. A lot of people think that you should cycle it out for most of your matchups that are not yellow, but if you have a Lucci in your hand, you can play Ice Age and Lucci, and basically you're ensured to clear just about everything and double clear things on your opponent's board. But we're going to see a swing 5 at life, and I guess both people right now are really confident in their hands, and he ends up taking that. So let's see what happens now. So another brand new comes online, and he saved that earlier, and then he gets a Suru. Usually when you search for a 2k counter, when you see your opponent search for a 2k counter, it means that he didn't get what he was looking for. So because of that, he plays the 3k worlds, 3000 worlds. It's a 4 cost, bottom deck's a 5 cost. I think, you know, that wasn't the best turn. You only developed the brand new. 3000 worlds is good, but you could have saved it for, you know, the big Borsellino or a Savo coming up, or, you know, maybe Rebecca or Lucci that's really in your way. So I think the going for Sakazuki is really happy with that response. So he cycles out the Kobe, which was always meant for the graveyard, so that's really good. And now he's on his 7 Dawn turn. Normally in your 7 Dawn turn, you really consider that 7 cost Borsellino to be played on curve, but there's really no cards on the board. The other Sakazuki hasn't really developed anything. So a swing 5 comes in, counter out with Sabo, and yeah, very good play to just play out the Lucci and clear the brand news from the field. You know, usually when they leave brand news on the field, they want to use Houndblaze as an extra swing. So right now you're preventing that. And with the remaining 3 Dawn, he plays out a 3 cost ulti. Normally, I think that this isn't the greatest play, but I think the other Sakazuki already hinted at the fact that he doesn't have a Lucci, and now there's 3 creatures on board, which is, I would say at this point, considered fairly wide. And yeah, we'll see how the going second Sakazuki responds. 8 Dawn is supposed to be the strongest turn for Sakazuki, right? You can play Rebecca, Hina, Lucci, 3 cards on board, and clears, you know, a majority of things that anyone can play. Unfortunately, going second Sakazuki still has not seen the Lucci. He has Houndblaze, Tashigi, Suru, Rebecca, a big Borsellino, another Hina, and a Great Eruption. The problem is he wants to play the Great Eruption, but the problem is that, you know, once he's done that, he's at 7 Dawn, and that's not going to be enough for him to play Rebecca Lucci. Let's see how things go. He needs to get rid of that ulti for sure. And ulti is a useless character unless you let her live for 1 turn, and then she starts, you know, being really, really useful. So swing for 6 at life and minus cost on the ulti. I think the ulti is not long for this world. And wow, I guess going for Sakazuki is really confident. Oh, and he doesn't have a 2k counter in his hand. That's why. Wow, so that 6 swing was actually super value. So big Borsellino comes out, bottom decks the Lucci. It's still not too bad. And ulti being on board still is a problem, but I think that 6 swing was mega valuable, just because 1, he took it, right? And 2, now you know that your opponent does not have any 2k counters, right? Otherwise he would have countered out easily. So that's like super huge information grab. And the going for Sakazuki, you know, has to be very careful now. But I think he has a really, really good hand. He's at 9 Dawn. So he can easily... There's a lot of things he could do. He could Ice Age and putting a Dawn on ulti lets him swing and bottom deck the big Borsalino for basically 2 Dawn and 1 card. That's pretty valuable. You could also start using Mancherry and then, you know, build a wall with Sabo or Rebecca. I think that would work as well. Yeah, I think that's actually probably the best thing. If it were me, what I would do is Ice Age and then use ulti to bottom deck the Borsalino while swinging at your opponent, and then afterwards using Mancherry and Sabo. Yep, that would be really strong, and I think that's exactly 9 Dawn. It's just a great hand. I think. All right, so he cycles out the 7 cost Borsalino and gets a Kuzan. So now his options get even more wider. So I'm actually really interested in how the ulti works in the mirror match. I wasn't a big fan of after testing, and I ended up replacing ulti with Hina. But in this case, the ulti was played in a really timely manner. So now we see the Ice Age come out, dropping the big Borsalino to 5 cost. Ulti can bottom deck a 2 cost or below, so it works perfectly well. And now Sakazuki has to deal with this 5k swing, and he's gonna have to over counter because the only thing he has is Tashigi and Suru that he wants to give up. And now there's all sorts of shenanigans that going first Sakazuki can play. He still has 8 Dawn. Oh man. Can he... Even a 7 swing would be really strong. And 5 swing comes out. Oh man. Here's the thing. If you counter out with Suru and you go down to 4 life, or 4 cards in hand, there's not much you can do to come back from this game, especially when your opponent has double your hand size. Right? But if you don't, you're down to 1 life, and you're not sure if you can clear your opponent's board. They can Hound Blaze you, and you're done. So I think you do have to counter here, just for your survival. Unfortunately, this game is predicated by the going second Sakazuki not having access to Lucci. But yeah, I think going first Sakazuki is really taking advantage of that. All right, let's go. So the Mancherry and Sabo combo comes out. He plays the sequence perfectly, right? You don't really want to search for Mancherry before you play Sabo, because Sabo gets to draw 2, trash 2. So he's building the perfect hand, right? He's going to trash 2 cards that he doesn't want. And if he wants one of those 2 cards, he'll use Mancherry and he'll bring back that extra card. Very nice. Mancherry comes out. So he did trash the Kuzan and a Lucci. He's probably going to be taking... He already has a Lucci on hand, so he might just take a 2k counter here. And if he doesn't, he can take a Lucci, or he can take a Kuzan, or maybe even a Sabo at this point. Yep, a 2k counter. I think that's the safest part, right? At this point, you've got to be favoring the going first Sakazuki. It's mainly because he's done a perfect job managing his hand, building all the right pieces. And yeah, this 10 Dawn turn has a lot to think about. You have to get rid of the Mancherry, but it's protected by Sabo. You definitely have to get rid of that Sabo right away. And does he have Hina in the graveyard? Because probably... this is tough. That Sabo's basically prevented any sort of Hina Lucci combination. Like you can only respond with Hound Blazes, and you just don't have that many to go. Moreover, the ulti is still on the board and has already provided insane value by bottom decking that big Borsalino. Let's see what he does. This is not looking great. I think no matter what, he does have to play this Rebecca here. He probably plays Rebecca, brings out some card and plays the Hina from his hand, minusing the Sabo, and then Houndblazing the Sabo and being forced to... He could swing at life and get Sakazuki down to 0, or he could swing at the Mancherry. But if anything, he needs to make sure that he has a secondary Houndblaze. If he does swing at life, he needs that second Houndblaze if he's going to leave Mancherry open. So he does. So now he did end up drawing a second Houndblaze with the greater option. So it makes his life even harder, right? Now he's really got to think. Right. There's absolutely no way he can keep Sabo up an extra turn. You know what he can do? He could also grade Eruption yet again. Okay, he's going to cycle out a Hina. And he's going to, draw a second Rebecca. Yeah. One more Great Eruption should be coming out anytime soon. Then he can play Rebecca, bring out the Hina as a body. Man, the problem is Ulti and Mancherry are both here, and you have to get... There are 3 targets, Ulti, Mancherry, and Sabo, that this Saka has to deal with. It's just not possible to deal with all of them. You have to leave up something. So Rebecca gets played. Let's see what he cycles back to his hand. Recycle. Oh yeah, he did discard the Hina earlier, so he's going to actually just play out the Hina. It's going to minus cost the Sabo. This turn doesn't really change. He's going to Houndblaze the Sabo, bottom deck it, and now he has to decide whether or not to swing at life or at the Mancherry. If he swings at life, that means he's going to go for game, and it signals to the opponent that they should be stockpiling on 2k counters. And a 6. Oh, is this a 9k swing at life? Surprising. Oh, no. He's swinging at life. All right. Ooh, so he draws a Great Eruption. I would be so tempted to trigger that Great Eruption and reduce Sakazuki's hand size from 3 to 2. But yeah, I think it's very obvious what the next choice is. Great Eruption, Houndblaze, swing a Hina, clear the board, develop your board, and just swing away. I think at this point, this Sakazuki going first has an incredible hand advantage, and Mancherry being left up was a mistake. I would rather leave an ulti on board than leave a Mancherry on board. Yeah, there's also, I think he's also calculating to see if he could actually go for game. And usually when the mirror asks to see your graveyard, there's only a finite amount of 2k counters in a Sakazuki deck, somewhere between 8 and 10. The non-Kaido builds run 8, whereas Kaido runs 10. I think they're both playing the more standard default build, so 8 2k counters for both of them. And yeah, if you see like 4 to 6 2k counters in your opponent's trash, you can just assume that there's not too many counters in your opponent's hand. So Great Eruption comes out. Houndblaze is sure to follow. First, a 5k swing and bottom deck. The Rebecca, man, this ulti is providing insane amounts of value. And wow. Oh, okay, so ulti swung 5 at Hina and bottom deck the Rebecca. So 1 swing, 2 cards removed. Man, that ulti is MVP in this game. Absolutely, 100%. All right, so with 9 Dawn left, he trashes the Hina, no longer a need for it. And I think at this point, you know, it's getting to that insurmountable phase. Go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Here, you know, you can play just about anything as long as you develop the board. So he's playing the Rebecca, bringing back a... What did he bring back? Bringing back a Sabo. And then with the remaining 4 Dawn, playing another Rebecca and bringing back a Kobe. So just in case of anything, he has a Kobe to pop a 3 cost or below. Or is it a 4 cost or below? No, it's a 3 cost. And a 5 swing, and at this point with 3 cards in hand, the Sakazuki needs to build his hand, so he goes ahead and draws another one. Ooh, and he draws a 3rd Houndblaze of his deck. So I think what he needs to do, he obviously needs to go for game here. So I think what he's looking at is to Houndblaze both the Rebeccas and just swing for game and hope for the best. Oh, amazing. So he gets the best card he can get. He's going to Great Eruption one of the Rebeccas, and he's going to play Suru on one of the Rebeccas, the other Rebecca, and then bottom deck both of them with Houndblaze and buffing his Sakazuki at the same time. So he's going to swing 6 plus 4, 10, so 15,000 swing. And let's see if this Sakazuki player has it. Oh my god. The insane comeback. The insane comeback. Let's go back really quick. Wow. So seemingly a full board, 2 blockers in hand on board, and cycling the Rebecca to get the Suru that he needed, right? Because seeing the going for Sakazuki's hand size, right? You can see he has a lot of 2k counters in his hand. And so he needs to play the most efficient he can. He's able to Great Eruption and Suru to bring both cards down to 2 cost, Houndblaze both of them, and get up to a 15,000 swing. And I think, you know, I'm not sure, I haven't counted, but I think he's just right there. I think that, yeah. So, wow, just 10,000 counter against a 15,000 swing, and he's able to take it by 1 card. Congratulations. So that was a crazy game. We thought that Sakazuki was done for, and he just made a major comeback, essentially drawing exactly what he needed to swing for game. So thank you guys so much. I will be going to Tahoe this weekend, so no content for a little bit, but as soon as I get back, we're going to be talking about Ranked League. So excited for that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.